welcome back to another Misfit Athletics podcast. It is week 2 of the Open, 18.2. A couple jabronis just finished it up. We're going to talk about their experience and what we learned watching them in a minute. First, we'll kick it off to Drew for some housekeeping stuff.
Yeah, sharpentheaxeco.com. As you guys said on Instagram, we are emptying your bank accounts, and we are back at it on 3/7. Gabe's going to do a slow, dramatic unzip for us.
Ooh.
Wow.
Show off
what I was wearing
hey.
that.
We got the black and gold STA print, and that's actually on a special T-shirt.
Favorite color combo.
We'll let you guys know all about that on social media. We have the thermal right there. We teased the shorts today on Instagram. If you're wondering what those were, some people thought they were leggings. They are not. They are shorts, men's shorts to be exact. We've got a couple of dad hats coming out. Seth had one of them on last week. I have one of them on right now. We got some other nice stuff coming out. So 3/7 this coming Wednesday, big drop, sharpentheaxeco.com.
Wow. Good job.
Wow.
All right. So before we dive into week 2, let's wrap up week 1 completely. So on the website, 900 and change of you or more have discovered the Misfit Takeover link so far, where if you follow, want to be recognized, claim to be a Misfit athlete, great. We want to know who you are. So almost 1,000 of you guys have competed in the first week of the Open, signed up with us. Those in qualifying positions will get their due recognition. You guys ready for this?
Let's do it.
Because this is the hardest part of the whole show for me. Here we go. In Asia, we have Sophie McKenzie sitting in 9th. In the Australia region, we have Aaron Osborne. Central America, Paulo Rosiel, good friend of ours now. We've got to see him several times. We had a blast at Waterpalooza.
He's going to love 18.2.
He really is. He's going to smash it.
3 minutes on it.
Central America's great hope coming up, Paulo. Central East, we have Emma Chapman. Here we go.
She'll hate this workout. Yeah, she'll hate it.
Aaron Vanden Reich. Fuck. I screwed it up. Aaron, I'm sorry, but your last name has like 17 letters in it.
Aaron, can we get like a DM with your last name?
Vanden Reich. That's
pretty good, I'd say.
That's yeah.
Good
You're gonna have to correct me, and then I'll get to say your name a bunch more times in the podcast. So, Brad Hughes and of course Paul Castillo hanging out in the Central East. You're up north. Marcin Zibaj and Arnie Christensen. Mid-Atlantic, Kenzie Riley, Erica Thiessen, Eric Oxley. North Central, Megan Scales, Dylan Martin. The Northeast, Anastasia Marino, Julianne Farewell, Cody Mooney, Max Bragg, and Austin Spencer.
We're going to need to see Caroline Connor's name on that next week.
Yeah.
Okay, please.
Seriously.
Come on now.
South Central, of course, loaded, stacked region for us. Alexis Johnson, Jess Alvoit, Tucker, Macklemore, Brandon Luckett, Chris Reed, Weston Neiman, Travis Williams, Jordan Cook, Justin Wofford.
Justin Wofford.
Making
I haven't
a
heard that name in a while. I like it. Attaboy.
Making a comeback. He'll also like 18.2.
Yes, he will.
Minus the clean.
I think he might light on fire.
I mean, the clean, he's made a lot of progress in his
During the
weightlifting,
workout.
but let's see. Can he clean enough? I think he can. Dex has fixed it. Southeast, Cheryl Nasso and Norman Woodring. The Southwest, Tylin Rashawn, Chloe Wilson, Lance Castle. The West Coast, China Cho, Nathan Pontius, and of course, Turbo Baby, Sam Quant. Oh, that was painful for me, but I do see a trend. A lot of the same names as last year, so
And we all
very
used
cool.
Concept 2s.
Did we?
Oh,
I mean,
I'm surprised you didn't know that.
Maybe they haven't admitted to their Zebex use yet.
No, maybe.
Huh?
We had a couple masters too. Justin King.
Chris Reed probably uses Zebex though.
Oh yeah,
Chris
for sure.
Chris Reed. Sorry, go ahead.
Anyway, we had 2 masters do really, really well. Justin King was 3rd in the 35 to 39 age group.
What was his score? It's crazy.
350
50 something, right?
3?
Yeah.
Something like
Something
that. 453?
453, yeah.
453.
Something like that.
Kenny Ochoa, 17th in the 45 to 49. And then we had a lot of people in that top 200 in the, let's say, top 50 even. So people that are really close to being in that qualifying spot. Over 200 masters signed up for that form. So it's pretty cool.
Very cool.
Very cool.
Very cool.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Okay, week 1. I got to give those back to Jen, but that's my dramatic end of week 1.
It's that meme where the guy's throwing the papers.
Yeah.
You fuck this shit on the bottom.
But then
I didn't really need those.
Yeah. Okay. All right, week 2. Let's move on. Okay, so we have a sort of 12-minute AMRAP, 12-minute workout, I will say, and it is dumbbell squats. Doesn't necessarily say front squats, dumbbell squats. I think you have the ability to hold the dumbbells however you want, dumbbell squats, and bar-facing burpees. With the new pseudo standard. Just basically you can't step up anymore, essentially. Yep. Remaining time, after you finish 1 to 10 in a ladder, then you do a squat clean, 1 rep max, in the remaining time of that 12 minutes.
Indeed.
Initial thoughts.
We do.
Initial thoughts.
It's
what's the most important thing to focus on? Pick one thing that jumped out at you right away that is
transitions
terrible.
are huge in this workout. You cannot hang out like I don't know, second week in a row we say the same thing, but transitions between the dumbbells, squats, and the burpees is huge. If you spend too much time putting them down or stepping around your barbell or not moving with purpose, you shouldn't be considering yourself an athlete for a qualifying spot. Just it's not going to work.
You guys both did the workout. You were sub 5.
Just under
443. I thought 453 or 443.
453. That's what it was. So just under 5. You were just over 5, right? The guys we watched, 2 of the fittest dudes on earth, just over 4, right? So we have that range of low 5s to low 4s. Maybe some, it'd be real
Bridges
hard.
maybe touches
yeah,
it.
just a few people
It's
maybe
gonna
go
Fraser's going to be
4.
like 330, 340.
You can cut to 330.
Yeah, because Noah started to slow down a little.
So
and Vellner sort of like paced it.
So we'll say the absolute high end window 330, 335, 330. Yeah. I would say maybe 340. I don't know. Anyway,
if I could do 1 to 6. And
that's a crazy high end of that workout, and it's not realistic for really anyone except a handful of people that we could name off the top of our head. And then a qualifying score, we'll say that would keep you in a qualifying position in your region for regionals. What is that time?
That's under 5 for sure. I'd say 445, 450 or less. I think that's the range. You start to push 5. I think that you have to have a really big.
Are you
clean
saying that's a top 20 score or like a top 50 score?
Top 50, I think, is under 5.
Okay.
I think like the low 5s put you in that like 50 to 75, maybe 100 range. I don't know, man. I feel like
it's going to be tight, right?
There'll be a lot of people who can
super tight.
really, really, really push that first part, knowing they have to because they're not going to do anything in the second half of the workout. That's of a variety,
True.
Not a variety. So you have to be thinking about those athletes who are going to show up all of a sudden who have really good motors and good squatters, body type like him.
Right.
They can really, really push those pieces because they know that they can't necessarily hit a huge weight at the end. So
hit 310. What are you saying?
Big deal.
Wow, it's true. It is. Unfortunately, on the big stage, that is true, right? 310's crazy. 310's not enough. So we talked about times. Now let's talk about weights. When you get down there and you guys had 5.5 minutes, I'll say, by the time you changed your shoes and gathered your thoughts and feelings.
I was so dizzy with my shoes on. I was looking around trying to put my foot in my shoe and missing. That was a mess.
And so what kind of weights would you expect people to, if they have that good balance, be able to build up and hit? You hit
good balance.
You hit 340,
334.
Sorry,
not good.
Not
enough.
quite.
No.
334.
But I think that's starting to be that number where the good athletes who can get a good score in the burpees that are going to be at the top of the leaderboard are also going to get somewhere in that neighborhood for the clean. I just think that if you're not hitting 325, 330, you're going to have to really push those burpees to get a good score on there to stay relevant because there's just going to be so many people in there who can go 6 or 7 minutes in that workout, but then hit 365 or hit 355 and shake up the leaderboard.
I think there's going to be a definite level off of, and we talked about it before, maybe being 320. Maybe it's that 325, but you're going to see a ton of people hitting right around there. So you're going to have to at least be at that 320, 325, and then anything above that is going to be a bonus, I guess.
Well, what I find real interesting is I think people forget how much the leaderboard was shaken up in 2015. If you look at the total, I didn't look at the numbers yet, but I'm going to after this, and I can say with confidence that the totals that allowed you to qualify for regionals were significantly higher. So that your total score across what was 6 scores in 2015 compared to 2016 or 2014, the points you're allowed to accrue and still qualify will be drastically higher than last year. The 1 rep max really throws this whole leaderboard off in a big way because 12 minutes really is plenty of time to dick around in that workout and still, if you're a big dude, clean 355.
You're gonna see some dudes like Jared Enderton, who's like a really good weightlifter and pretty fit, hit, like maybe he does this in 5.5 minutes and hits 375, 385.
Right.
They're going to be out there.
There are plenty of oversized dudes that are going to hit big cleans, like thousands of them and
totally
hundreds in each region. It doesn't even matter too much. And there's a lot of them in each region. So if you hit the 325 clean we're talking about, in a lot of regions, that could be like 80th, 100th maybe. Like 325 is the bottom of that like real competitive weight when we start talking about going to regionals, right?
It'd be a massive difference between 10th place and 20th place.
Huge.
It's going to be insane.
Right. Yes.
Like that gap is going to be
I was like at that
so
in
much
2015 is the same thing. You had a bunch of people.
Well, that
who
gap was skewed.
Oh, I know,
way more, but yeah,
fucked up and didn't do the workout. But like you'd have the top like 10 were all like 365, 355 plus, and then you had people who were like 330, 325. Yeah. There was like a 30-pound difference between those up 10 and those next 10.
And there'll be a crazy log jam between, let's call it 320 and 350, right? So that 30-pound window, there'll be
every pound's
the
worth
vast majority of your competitors are going to fit somewhere in there.
Yeah.
So one thing that we noticed is they allow you can raise the weight by 1 pound increments, right? And and you took advantage of it with the weighted.
I had the 3 pound clips,
collars.
and then I had the 5.5 pound plates. So
collars. So yeah. So that's something that I think people should not overlook, as opposed to just always putting on those 2.5s or 5s and calling
you gotta play the game.
Exactly. That 1 pound could literally be 40 guys you're beating. Like, that sounds strange. 40 athletes that you're conquering in this workout.
I don't know.
How are you conquering?
Is just
dominating.
By adding
40 guys, you're dominating.
Just smashing. By adding a pound or 2 pounds or whatever, you absolutely have to play the fractional game. If you get stuck in that log jam with the 2.5s and 5s, you're going to be in that group with everyone else in that competition.
I didn't hit a very big clean and jerk back then, but like I know that I did 308 that year versus 305, and it ended up being probably 15, 20 places for 3 pounds. So
and
it's totally
I think I saw this year there was 418,000 people that signed up for the Open. That year there was like 230,000 people. So we're almost double the field. And how deep the competition runs. I know there's still better regions than others, but the athlete pool is really insane compared to 2 years ago. It really is. One mistake leaves you out, or 10 pounds, or 5 pounds, or 2 pounds leaves you out.
Well, yeah, literally 1 pound could leave you difference between going and not going. So,
well, that was what I was getting to when I said 5, 10,
no,
5,
I want
2.
to go
You had to go.
Absolute minimum.
You had to one-up me with the 1 pound.
Yes.
Okay, you're
Your
right.
Face.
So pay attention to that. I think that's crucially important with the weightlifting.
I agree.
Let's back to the actual workout itself, and let's talk strategy. So break it down like you guys both did it. Both had respectable scores in your own right. What was your approach going into the workout? Like, what were you thinking? What were you warming up?
I mean, honestly, I knew that you have to go fast on it. You can't really pace it. So I was just thinking about making sure I was moving as quickly as I could on things. I think probably the one thing looking back at it that I could have done a little bit better, that I think they did pretty well on the live show, is I could have squatted better. I think I could have sat back a little bit better and really try to use the posterior chain a little bit more.
Yep.
And that
your quads are on fire.
Yeah, my quads were on fire so bad. And that was the only thing that slowed me down. I'm like, breathing was fine in this workout. I felt fine, but I just felt like I was stuck in the mud trying to jump over the bar. And I mean, once it's that burn, once it goes, it's like you push hard and you can only go so fast. So I think while you have to go fast and you have to move quickly, you really need to do that while you're taking the time to sit back and squat well, because it'll allow you, the whole workout is, he said the 7s, but I think the 8, 9, 10s. And if you aren't able to push the pace on the 8, 9, 10s, that you're going to lose 20 seconds there.
You got to think about too, 8, 9, 10. If you add that up,
fuck ton of
reps. 27 reps.
That's a majority of the workout. Yeah.
Literally half the workout.
My question is for you guys, 1 through 7. I know you can't go slow. Is there something to the cadence of it, or do you just have to be slow in your mind? Like, because if you slow down enough in 8, 9, and 10, wouldn't you want to, backload the workout a little bit better?
To me,
is there any room for that in this workout?
There's this is me personally. I don't know if everyone's going to follow this advice because they don't have the same body type as me and the same ability with burpees because I'm not great at burpees. But I think that I got to 6 and I had to go to the new burpee that we taught when we finally had the new standard where you had to take 1 step towards the bar and jump over. So you had an extra like gather step, and it ended up being a good pacer for me. And it was at one point you pulled away a little bit, and I think I was able to make up a little bit of ground at the end with that pace because I started seeing you transition a little bit slower, and I think that helped me get back into it because I was able to sprint the last 10, which was my plan anyways, is to get, once I'm at 10, just go because the workout's basically over. Right. But I think there is something to that. It's just that it's really hard to play that game if you play a little bit too slow and you're happy with your clean jerk score at the end because you're able to stay a little bit fresher, but you're sad that you're...
And I don't mean it in any way trying to get a slower score. I just mean, is there any point to being just a touch more in control for 1 through 7?
I thought Vellner did a good job of that. He like you noticed that he paced it a little bit. I thought he almost played it perfectly. Yeah. And other than that, no wrap at the very end, but he almost played it perfectly to where he looked fresher and was picking up speed on the bigger chunks of burpees. Like I said, that's half of the workout. So honestly, it doesn't matter how fast you go on the movements and transitions at the beginning if you get stuck later on.
You always say you rest now or you rest later. You have to think about how you attack this piece. I mean, if you go so hot out the gate that you have to rest later, was it worth going that hot to begin with? And I think no. I think staying composed and being able to have that last little kick at the end would be super important because, like we just said, 8, 9, and 10 is half the workout. You can stay relaxed, somewhat calm through 7, maybe even 8, and you can push 9 and 10.
It's a dangerous idea, though, because you can't advise someone to pace in control 1 through 7 too much and then not give yourself a chance because you're already too far behind that you can't dig yourself out in 8, 9, and 10. So it's like talking about, it goes all the way back to all the times we talked about knowing yourself, knowing how to pace, knowing where your training experiences, how to pick it up, because you have to know your line to take in there. There isn't just, okay, I'm going to be smooth and steady 1 through 7. Well, you already fucking lose then, because smooth and steady was not what Vellner and Olsen did either. They moved quickly. They chose a burpee technique.
I would say a paced effort at all. I would say smooth and then smash the
so
end.
They move well, if you want to call that smooth, but it was not.
Do you think that's their version of it though? That's a serious question. To me, it looked like their version of what is slow and smooth.
But when you're on that level, you can afford that. True. When you're fighting for a regional spot, you can't afford to take that your version of it, right? If you're on the bubble, you don't get your version. You have to find the line that allows you to get the most out of the workout. And it may be it's definitely don't go 100% out of the gate. That's definitely the answer. But is it whatever 90 is, whatever 80 is? You have to know like when you start going down in like your output or whatever from past experiences, because if you don't give yourself a chance, and it doesn't matter what you do in 8, 9, 10, you already lose.
Right.
If you go out too hot, and 8, 9, 10 looks like a complete shit show, you lose again. So there is a line that has to be figured out, which will sort of bring me to my next point.
It's crazy, 2 weeks in a row, the same thing. Same line you have to play again.
And
play the game.
But what's going to happen is I think you guys both did a real good job in your first swing at it, but how much did you learn about the workout when you went through it the first time? Like you could think about, I would approach it like this in my retest. Did you have that thought at all yet? If you were going to retest it? Well, you should have thought about it already.
I haven't had that thought, but I was. I'm going to be honest. I haven't lifted very heavy recently, so I was pretty content.
Forget the lift.
So I was pretty content with that. So that's my thing is though, if I decided to try to take another swing,
I'm getting there. Forget the lift, just the workout. We got to take it one at a time. Is there something you could change now that you've had the experience? Okay. Is there something you could change?
Absolutely.
So it's going to entice you to want to do this again, which now brings to the next point that you're trying to jump to. You hit a big clean. Gabe hits a PR clean during this workout, believe it or not. He ties his PR in the clean. Now he has this score where he's pretty happy with it, but has figured out now that he could probably shave 10 seconds off doing it this way.
For sure.
But is he going to be able to shave 10 seconds and hit a 310 clean again? The chances of that, conditions have to be perfect. He has to be really on. To PR your clean and, twice in 3 days is fucking insane. Amazing, right?
Something that only happens in CrossFit.
Exactly, it does happen. You're right, but now you're playing that. You have to gamble. So now you might push all the way back through that. You might cut the 10 seconds off, and he might clean 301, and that's the best. And now he has to decide which fucking score to enter.
Yeah,
right?
And then there's the same game that was played in 15, same exact thing. Which one do I want to play? So I'm sure there are people who had
This
it
is worse though. 15 was like, it was like a longer AMRAP, and you could see where the sticking point would be. This is a sprint where you don't know what 10 seconds is going to do to you, and you don't know what 10 pounds is going to do to you.
True.
So, perfect world, right? You get it done in one try, you PR, you clean, and you figure out ahead of time what it is you have to do and what line you have to take in the workout. And
I mean,
does that mean
so
you go
to that
through,
point?
Yeah.
To that point, I mean, I think in a roundabout way, you basically suggested that people spend a good amount of time on the Metcon portion of this, figuring that out beforehand. Yes. So
exactly,
primer, warm up, like spend a good chunk of time before you actually hit this workout, knowing and rehashing some experiences and putting yourself. So for me, part of my warm up, I didn't look at the primer beforehand or anything, but I knew, okay, at some point in this workout, I'm going to be either struggling for air or my legs are going to be hurting. So I did a handful of sprints on the bike and made sure I tried to get that feeling in, and then went over and tried to fly through a few bar facing burpees. Like putting yourself in an experience like that to remind you how you feel in that situation.
If you were going to go Friday night, would you attempt maybe to go through 6 or 7 on the workout, like work up to 6 or 7 playing with it? It's 25 of each or whatever it is, 26 of each, 27 of each.
24, yeah.
Would you do that and find what that pace is earlier in the day, and then, recover, have your day, and then if you're going to go at night, come in and have your strategy down pat?
I think it's a great idea.
Yeah, absolutely.
Honestly, the workout doesn't start until 7. To me, it was 7, 8, 9, 10. Until it was 8, 9, 10 for him.
Because 30 squats, 30 burpees earlier in the day is not going to damage anyone that has a chance
to
put
do
up
it.
a score.
I mean,
right?
that's no more than you do in a warm up on any day. So I think you could easily do that. It'll tell you a lot about transitions, and it'll give you a good feeling about the pace that you take through the first half of the workout. Saying, okay, as soon as you're done with that, saying, all right, how would I feel if I was doing 7, 8, 9, 10 right now or whatever. Good plan.
What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, it makes a lot of sense to try and do something like that, because the unknown is what stresses the shit out of people. That, like, I don't know what this feels like. I don't know what I'm supposed to do here. So if you can, like, really understand where you're going with it, it's definitely going to help. I mean, there's no doubt about that.
Yeah.
The big thing for me on this is we talked a lot about before the open being really efficient and simple movements.
Yes.
And watching you two, like, there was time for both of you with efficiency of movement. And I think it's actually going to be really, really important in this. So somebody that's out there that can squat up through their entire foot, as opposed to, I call it the hinge squat, when someone keeps their torso vertical but shoots their knees forward and lets their heel come up, and their butt almost hits their foot, and they sort of stand back up through that. And, like, yeah, it feels okay in terms of holding the weight, but then your quads are just, I mean, dying to get more blood into them, and they're just not going to. And then on the burpee, that forward momentum and that hip closing is like the whole workout to me. Because I saw it with you. I didn't know if it was your legs or your upper body, but towards the end, it seemed really hard for you to get up from that position and then jump over.
Yes.
And that concept of, like, throwing your butt up and almost pulling yourself forward to be able to use that forward momentum to get to the other side of the bar. Those two things could make or break somebody's season. So I know a lot of times we're, the ring muscle up and the snatch and all this, but if you don't have standard movement efficiency down in those two movements, it's gonna add 30, 40 seconds to your workout, question. Which is a lot.
Kicks you out.
Yeah.
Simple as that. Kicks you out. That's easy as that. Draws a line in the sand, you're out.
I mean, obviously, if you do a back squat, if you sit too far back with the dumbbells there, that's going to be super challenging, but there's just something about driving those knees out and actually standing up through the weight in your entire foot. I mean, that's really, without shooting a video, that's the easiest way for me to think about explaining it.
Yeah, makes sense. Makes perfect sense. All right. Well, I'm going to ask this too, because we're going to get this question from a lot of people. So basically, I got like a 457 and a 3 whatever the first time, and then I got a 501, but I got a higher clean the second one. How do I know which score to submit? What are you going to tell one of your athletes that retests it that gives you 2 different versions like that? How do you figure out which fucking score to submit?
Statistics through leaderboarding, probably.
Yeah, I'd have to look at the leaderboard really closely and try to go back and see which one gave the athlete the better score. I mean, how much did
a lot of scores are in by the time that you have to post, And statistics usually will tell you at least a trend of where the scores are going.
Well, I mean, our score is going to all come flooding in at 7:30.
I mean, maybe on this one.
Yes,
on this one, yeah.
They definitely
people understand
will
that.
100% do that because it's such a couple pounds could make or break a season. So someone could try it again at 7:30 on a Monday night and be like, I'm just going to try. And if I can get it, I get 2 more pounds. I'm into regionals. If not, I'm out. So
your answer basically, because I don't have the answer, is
I don't have the answer,
unfortunately
no.
you're going to have to guess. You're going to have to play the game, wait as long as you can.
we're going to watch the leaderboard and try to figure it out then.
Try to do the roughest math equation you can to figure out which one will likely
If you
provide
follow
the
a
best.
All I
different
can think of is that
program,
Zach
make sure you
Galifianakis
put your
thing.
score in immediately.
Yes.
Put it in the now.
All I can think of is that Zach Galifianakis thing where he's doing the algebra and it's like floating out his head. That's all I can think of. Which one do I put in?
So hopefully you don't put yourself in that situation and you listen to the things we talked about, practice the movements, go through half the workout at a different time that you're not going, give yourself every opportunity to warm up your clean, make sure your video's set up right, make sure whatever it is you got to make sure. And if you can possibly get a one and done, a 2-parter is going to be the one that you want to do it in. You want to hit that PR clean, and you want to be damn sure that you didn't have an 85% performance in that workout. If it's 95 and you hit a big clean, it is what it is. That's game day. That's the way it came out, right? But if you really feel like you left something back, man, you have a serious problem, and we just don't want you to end up like a lot of people will end up in that position. We won't have the answers till the very end.
Sure won't.
So
The clean, I think it's important for people to understand. I think we talked about it last week. We talked about it with, because you're gripping the dumbbell and the total bar, you're going to want to feel like you have to pull harder with your arms. So what so many people do under fatigue in a 1-rep max scenario is they get aggressive earlier in their pull. And then, they pulled high enough, and yes, they would have been strong enough to stand it up, but the bar's nowhere to be found. It's not in the right position. You saw it a little bit with Noah out there, who was sort of heaving from a certain position. So you're going to be better off. Your pull is going to be fresh as anything.
It felt awesome.
Yeah, the pull was no issue whatsoever.
The pull is going to be there, and there's a pretty good chance that the front squat's going to be there if you catch it the way that you need to. And how do we put those things together? You still have your heels down when the bar gets somewhere near your hip.
I mean, you watch those guys, both of those guys early on, when they missed the lift, it was because they were doing exactly what you talked about. They overpulled, dove underneath it, and then
But that's
hammered into that
intuitively, if
position.
we don't think about that stuff going into the lift, that's what your body's going to tell you to do. You're going to pick it up off the ground. You're going to be trying to drive through your feet. Your butt's going to shoot up. The bar's going to get away from you, and your body's going to say, we need to heave this thing. It's the only way we're going to get there. When in reality, the only way to get there is to get all the way back to power position. I know we say that so often, but with this, like I knew with Sherb, if he got into the right positions, the weight was so irrelevant. And that's the case for so many people. But you're not going to put yourself in that mindset if you can't get all the way from point A to point B before the work's really even done. So I would
say early on, to that point early on, if you don't do that early on and it feels heavy or you miss, that's going to really screw with you.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. And everyone's been there. Everyone's, had that lift feel like it's in the front half of their foot as it starts to get towards their hip. And then the only thing you can do to move the bar is push your hips forward and send the bar out and then go jump for it. And you've done enough jumping. It's not going to feel so awesome. So there's something about, I'm sure we can take the time for you guys tomorrow to shoot a couple of little videos for this stuff, but it's really important for you guys to understand that your patience and tricking your mind into thinking it doesn't matter. You don't need to overpull. You don't need to pull from your knee or mid leg or anything like that. It's going to make a big difference. So,
yeah, I mean, if just looking back at the clean, if you had missed one of yours, 275, 295, 300, we probably wouldn't have went up. So we would have stayed there and let you hit it again, and you would have missed out on your opportunity to hit your big lift. And that'll happen to anybody, because most people, they don't feel super confident and they miss anywhere along the line. They wait and they hit it again, and then they make
you gamble and you just fuck yourself. And
if you gamble, it's all over. Yeah, you got to throw the whole thing out.
Yeah, it's not
including part one.
Exactly.
So you can't do that.
So
really?
Be smart about how you prime the lift, spend time doing it, and then honestly, like, it seemed to me weird at first. It's like, why would those games athletes who both have over a 335-pound clean hit 225? And they went really fast. So I mean, part of that was just probably just getting their legs back underneath them. But honestly, it makes sense to hit a really comfortable weight early on just to make sure things feel good. I mean, it felt like I got to the bar, I was like, I should go 275, but then I was happy that I did 225 because it felt good and things started to move right. And I was like, all right, this is getting me set up for the rest of the lift. which some people might look at it as too cautious, but at the same time, to me, it made sure that I lifted properly later on.
To your weight that you anticipated would be appropriate.
I mean,
in the workout.
you only had 30 seconds to load and hit.
So I hit
that next weight,
so
and it looked very doable.
Yeah.
I hit 329 at like 11:10, and then hit the last one with like 10 seconds left or something like that.
Yeah. You see the fucking position he was in when he caught his final one?
I wish you could see it.
I only saw the turtle back. Like,
I was in the worst position you've seen.
The bottom position, Gabe's torso was literally straight up. Straight up. Like his ball bag was between his heels.
You're talking about him or me?
Him.
Oh, yeah, I saw his.
It was crazy, the position he was in. I was like, what is that? I didn't see, like, I was kind of watching both of you at the same time, and I'm like, what is that?
Bro, we're old school CrossFitters. We don't have form.
What is that position?
That was a PR clean, bro.
He was so straight up on 300, he actually almost leaned back and dumped 300 behind him.
Holy shit. I just looked over and I was like, wait, he has to stand up with that. This would be the easiest front squat position ever.
Oh, yeah. Once I relaxed for a second, got it.
Holy shit. Yeah. That was wacky. It's not what Sheriff's position looked like.
I thought you were talking about that. I saw the turtle trying to stand up and take a dump at the same time. I saw that.
Trying to herniate all the discs in my back. At once.
I think people might ask too. You talked about priming the clean. What did you work up to before the workout?
My goal weight for this workout was hit 315. After watching those guys, it's like, oh, they're really, really fit and they're hitting like that. So if I hit 315, that would be really cool. So I hit 275, which is putting me about 80%.
Interesting.
Yeah, 85%.
I only went to 225, which was my opening weight, and I mean, I'm not saying that's right to do, but it felt fine because the first one felt routine after the workout.
I also did it in flats because I was like, oh, we're not going to have time to change our shoes. I thought this workout was going to take us like 7 minutes. It's like, that's 5 minutes to change your shoes and hit 3 or 4 lifts. So I did it in flats. So I wore, there's enough time to change your shoes and get yourself in the best position possible.
The athletes have been going to 80% all the time recently.
Like
so you'll know like what's that comfortable weight for you. If it's not 80, 70, 75, somewhere in that range.
Just stop when you feel like you've got enough, movement in that matters.
Just like some weight, but you fly up and then just be done with it. Don't move on to a weight where you gotta, take a longer setup and get your belt and do all this shit. Like hit a weight that's heavy but smooth and call it.
All right. I think we've said it all. Unless you got anything else.
The only thing I will say, you guys,
we didn't say it all yet.
One little thing. If you look at the warm up this week, we slightly changed it. We added some aerobic work beforehand just to get the blood pumping. I think a lot of people, again, we say this over and over again, are too nervous to actually work out before an open workout or get to break a sweat.
Blood flow is the name of the fucking game in this workout.
That is this workout. You need to get the blood pumping. You need to get those muscles moving around. You want your joints loose. Like, I think it's 5 minute bike on the blog this time. Do that, and if it's not 5 minutes, make it some time. Get a sweat going.
Fuck that. If you can't sit on the bike and pedal for 5 minutes,
bike. It can be. It can be row.
Oh yeah,
I
thought you were saying like do for 2 minutes. No,
do something to break a sweat. Then mobilize. Then do your primer. Then hit the hit the workout. Don't just think that I can't do extra squats or I can't break a sweat because you guys are CrossFitters. You all do so much training. Like. You always do better in your second piece. And we talk about this all the time, but take an extra minute and just do that. Break a sweat before you start mobilizing.
Word.
That's all I want to say.
Agreed. We good?
Yeah, until next time.
Oh, boy. We're going to learn a whole bunch of shit tomorrow when we watch more anyway. So.
I know.
People are
going to be all wrong.
Sorry, guys. This is like a... No, it's not. It's not. Come on.
There's already been a 301 posted and...
Probably.
410.
Z-Bex dumbbells.
Z-Bex
dumbbells. That's bullshit, man.
All right, guys.
Balloons with handles.
That's 18.2. That's all we got for you for now.
See you next Thursday.
Peace, guys.
See you.